There are two types of people in this world. There are winners and there are losers. And the definition between the two is very simple. Winners and losers do things differently. They respond to the way life has come at them differently. So losers will take on what happens to them, and when things suck, and they absorb them and they wallow in them and they take on these feelings and then they internalize them to either internally or externally create destruction. They use what happens in life as the reason why they are the way they are, and they then take it out on the world or take it out on themselves. Winners take these things that suck, they take the things that happen to them and they internalize them, and then they channel them into something good. They create it into something better. They use that as a reason and a driving force to become a better version of themselves, to use it as something beneficial, to not let it break them, to not let it define them, but as fuel into something greater. We see it all the times with people who we admire, who are great athletes, great entrepreneurs, speakers, whatever the fuck you aspire to be. They have taken the circumstances of life that have been thrown at them and they've channeled them into something better. They've channeled them into something great. They use what the world throws at them and they take it in and they spit it back out into something even better. This is what separates them. This is what separates winners and losers. It separates people who just live an average as fuck life and just, woe is me, let me wallow in all the things that happen. You know, and you can hear it in the language, even down to things like, that's just my luck. Of course that happened to me. Oh, that's what always happens. Does it? Or does it happen because you're always wallowing in self-pity? That woe is your life. You know, when shit arises, it can be either viewed as an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to overcome, an opportunity to become someone better. Oh, fuck me, this is awful. Oh my God, look at what's happened to me again. This always happens to me. My life is just shit. Winners and losers. It comes down to the choices we make. 90% of life is how we interpret what has happened to us. And only 10% is what actually happened. And it's why two people can experience exactly the same thing and come away with very differing opinions. It's like the twins who have an alcoholic father and an abusive alcoholic father. One doesn't drink at all and one is an alcoholic as well. And when you ask them why, the answer is the same: because of my father. But the outcome was drastically different because the outcome is based on how you choose to perceive it, on how you choose to internalize it and respond to the situation. You know, when I was in high school, I was extremely bullied to the point where I would come home every day and want to kill myself. I was honestly working out how to do it. I hated my life, I hated everything about it, and probably the only reason I stuck with it is because the one thing I did enjoy was basketball, and I had basketball. But everything else, I hated it. I didn't want to have to keep living with the pain. I didn't want to have to keep living with those feelings and what that was. And thankfully, I was young enough and I found weightlifting. For whatever reason, my father decided for one Christmas to buy me a at-home weight set, bench and bar and plates. And that one simple act changed the entire trajectory of my life, shifted absolutely everything. I would, physically and, metaphorically would not be here today without that one act. It was the greatest gift that has ever been given to me. And in hindsight, I am grateful for even that horrendous circumstance, for that challenge and that obstacle, because it has shaped my entire life. It has shaped me getting to here, and it shapes how I respond to everything. That I know I have an outlet. That means no matter what life throws at me, no matter how hard life gets, no matter what comes up, I have an outlet to deal with the suck, to deal with the shit that's in my life. I put it into my workouts. I have a direct conduit to channel the stuff that hurts me into something better. And that's why, fitness and exercise saved my life. Because it gave me an outlet. It gave me something that I was in control of. Yeah, I couldn't change what was going on at school. I couldn't change how other people treated me. I couldn't change any of that. But what I could change, what I could control, was how I responded to it. So I took that pain and I channeled it into my workouts. So yeah, I was hurting. Yeah, I was emotionally upset. Yeah, it was rough. But what I could do is I could go into the gym and I could inflict, as bad as it sounds, pain on myself. But that was my pain. That was me in control. I took that negative and I turned it into a positive and transformed my life. Yeah, I was fat and I was obese and I was overweight and, all that kind of stuff. And I was heading down a bad fucking road. And that horrible circumstance allowed me to turn it all around. And it, to this day, is still something that I utilize when stuff is shit. I go work out. When I'm not happy with my life, I channel that into my fitness so that when there are bad things, when my life isn't great, I can turn it into something good. I can take that pain and that hurt and that suffering and I utilize it into something better. And that has been something that has been utilized for my whole life. When people tell me I can't do something, when they tell me that they doubt me, when they tell me it's not possible, I channel that into proving them wrong. I take the negative and I make it into a positive. All that hate, all that you're not worthy, all that kind of stuff, fantastic, bring it on. I'm going to channel it in and show you that I am. You take the negative and you make it into a positive. Because that's the difference between winners and losers. It's impossible to go through life without things happening, without negative situations arising, without something being said, especially if you're attempting to do something of note. It will happen. These situations will arise. The question is, what do you do with it? Do you wallow? Do you hide from the world? Do you hate everything else? Do you let it compound into more and more and more and more? Or do you utilize it? Do you take that, coal and turn it into a motherfucking diamond, that you use that pressure to make you better? Do you use all that pain and suffering to turn it into something worthwhile? Because that's the difference between winners and losers. That's the difference that will separate you. That you can't hide from life. You can't avoid it. But what you can do is utilize it. What you can do is take it and turn it into something great. So why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you channel all of those things? Because at the end of the day, it's still just a decision. You can choose to let it crush you, or you can choose to turn it into something beneficial. You can choose to be a sad sack and wallow in whatever is getting to you, whatever is getting you down, or you can turn it into your greatest strength. Yeah, I don't wish what I went through on anyone. But at the same point, I'm actually grateful for it. Because it brought me here, brought me to this life. It built me this incredible life that I get to lead. It taught me the power of discipline and that anything can be overcome, that channeling it into something better is the greatest gift that you can give yourself. And we need to take these things and make them into something better. Yeah, it wasn't good, but it's like we were discussing the other day. We want to protect our children from the hardships and the pain of life. But in aiming to do that, in aiming to remove all the difficulties of life, we're actually doing them a disservice. Because the struggle and the hardships and the overcoming is what allows us to get to this point. It's the gifts, that give us meaning and purpose and allow us to grow and get stronger and build these skills of resilience that we need for life. Yeah, it's awful in the moment. Yeah, it's not enjoyable. No, we don't want to face those things. But if you can, and you can then overcome them, that's the gift. It's like if you were building the perfect human being. If you wanted to give them patience, you'd make them wait. If you wanted to make them strong, you would give them challenges and burdens to carry. If you wanted to build strong, disciplined character, you would make them overcome many different tasks. You can't build great character without going through the gauntlets, without going and overcoming struggles in the moment. So why would we take that away from our children? Why would we deprive them of the opportunity to become the best version of ourselves? I think it's the hardest thing to grapple with as a parent, that you are, by not letting them suffer, by not letting them go through trials and tribulations, you're actually doing the greatest disservice you can, because they will still face them. They will face trials and tribulations at some point in their life. That is an inevitability. The question is, will they be ready for it? And if you've taken care of all those things along the way, if you've prevented them from facing those things while growing up, the answer is no. No, they will not be ready for it. No, they will not be able to handle it. No, they will not have the skills and the resilience to take on these things. So, yeah, controlled suffering is a gift. It is something that's worthwhile. It is the separator. It's why we talk about choosing suffering. It's why we choose to get uncomfortable daily, because it builds that skill. So maybe you didn't develop it growing up. Maybe you weren't, quote unquote, blessed with opportunities to overcome obstacles and challenges in your life. But you can create that skill at any fucking point. You have the capacity to create that skill now, to turn that into something great, that you can make the decision every single day to build your resilience muscle, to build discipline, to build drive, to build focus. You have that capacity. The question is, are you willing to do the work to develop the skill, to develop that muscle, to build discipline and drive and focus? Are you? Or do you want to just keep living life as is and wallowing in your self-pity, to continue being a loser, that every time shit hits the fan, you're like, whoa, woe is me. My life is awful. I hate my life. And you let those circumstances just ruin everything. Or you can turn them into positives. You can flip them around on their head. And you can channel that, all the negativity in your life, into something good, into a benefit, into something that's going to serve you, into something that will do good things for your life. As I said, 90% of your life is how you respond to the other 10%. It's not what happens to us in life, it's how we respond to it. It's how we react to it. It's how we internalize it and turn it into something of value. That's what truly counts. That's what truly matters. So the question is, can you do that? Can you take the negativity? Can you take the suffering? Can you take all that kind of stuff and go, fuck yes. Look at this great opportunity for growth. Look at this great opportunity to do something better. Because even, and I talk about this a lot, even if nothing else, imagine how much better your life would be if, instead of like wallowing in how shit your life is, that you took those moments and were like, fuck yes. If you viewed all challenges and, things that pop up in your life as a divergent in the path, and you have the opportunity to continue down negativity or continue and take a veer into positivity, veer off into, yeah, my life's going to get fucking better from this. I'm going to grow and I'm going to adapt and I'm going to become a better version of myself through these things. You have those options. And so your life will instantaneously get better just from making that decision, from making that choice to be a better version of yourself. And so much of this is less about the end destination. Though that's great, though that's fucking awesome, though you want to get to the end and become the best version of yourself, to reach X goal, whatever the fuck it might be. But also, so much is about who you become along the way. It's not the destination, it's the journey. It's about the journey to becoming the best man you can be, the best version of yourself, to discovering who you are when you allow yourself to be that guy. When you step up and live life as the best version you can be. That's the gift. It's who you become along the way. That's the greatest gift of all. Yeah, you get to stop being a loser. Yeah, you get to stop wasting your time in that. Yeah, you get to stop wallowing in self-pity. But also, the man you get to become along the way, that shit's worth its weight in gold. Becoming the greatest version of you. There isn't a better outcome. There isn't a better opportunity than that. So yeah, chase that. Chase becoming the best version of you. Chase stop being a loser and stepping into being a winner. Chase just being happy and seeing what your potential is, seeing what is possible on the other side. That's where you want to get to. That's what you want to get after. Because that's what will separate you. That's what will make you the best version of yourself. That is what will allow you to step up and see who you truly can become. So there you have it. You have the opportunity to stop being a loser and become a winner. The question is, are you going to take it? So if you're ready for that, shoot me a message. Let's get you into chasing greatness. Let's shift your mindset around what it is to work, what it is to do these things, what it is to channel that pain into something good, discover who you can be when you turn it into something amazing. Let's take all those things and see who you are on the other side. If you're not quite there yet, please click the link in my bio, grab my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness. And lastly, if you took value from this, if it spoke to you, if you know someone else who needs to hear this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share, because I'm here every single day, sharing from the front, sharing from my experience as I go through this, leading by example, completing chasing greatness, and showing you what's possible, but also to help you avoid the mistakes that I've made, to bypass those and jump straight to the good stuff. So I'll be back again tomorrow to continue sharing chasing greatness. Until then.